Hello and welcome to Hughes at 10. It is Monday, the 7th of February 2022. God, 22 years! We've been stuck in this stupid century. Oh my God. So first of all, big thank you to everyone who's already put in chats. We're not even 10 minutes into the show and already filled up the wall. That's fantastic. Thank you. And big thanks to Richard, number 3, who has donated £5 to ask, why do you have to rely on MPs to get rid of a rogue? Our constitution isn't worth the paper it's written on. Ha. Because obviously we don't have a written constitution. We have an unwritten constitution, which is great if you want to change things really rapidly in the country, and you don't really have to go through the same process you do in other countries that have constitutions, where if a government makes a law, they have to check whether it's constitutional. So you spend years drafting, formulating, voting on a law, and then it comes into effect, and then the High Court or the Supreme Court of whichever given country it is can say, hey, dickheads, that's against the constitution of the country. We don't have that. We have convention, not a constitution. We have an unwritten constitution, which makes things more flexible in a way, if you want to call it that. But it also means that every 5 years we get an elected dictatorship who can do what the hell they want. And there's always been this convention. There's been conventions. You know, people, they just don't do things. MPs, they apologise if they get something wrong. They amend the record. They amend Hansard, which is the name of the record that they keep in Parliament. And they wouldn't do anything like use the parliamentary privileges, i.e. you can't be sued for someone for what you say in Parliament. In fact, Parliament's one of the few places in the country that actually has got free speech to a certain extent. You still can't call someone a liar, you can't accuse them of misleading the House, and you can't call them by their actual name. You have to call them the Right Honourable Representative for Becontree and Fartsham, or whatever their constituency is. The Speaker can say what their name is, but they're not allowed to. And sometimes this gets really weird, like if someone mentions the name Margaret Thatcher, like what Starmer did last week or the week before, if you look in Hansard, it actually says the former MP for Grantham, or wherever she was the MP of, and you're like, okay, that's just the way it's done. So we don't even have freedom of speech really in Parliament, but also we don't have freedom of speech in terms of we don't have a constitution that enshrines our freedom of speech not being curtailed in any way by the government, which is what they have in America. Unfortunately, people in America, not everyone, but a lot of people are thick. There's 330 million people live in America. And yes, find the average person and think the whole half the population is more stupid than that. As a result, people go, oh, it's my freedom of speech, when they are protesting against, or whining, I should say, about being knocked off Spotify or Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. It's my freedom of speech. No, not bad. Listen very carefully, right? Your freedom of speech is this. You can say things and the government can't stop you saying them. The government. Private enterprise can. The bloke who owns the bar that you're in can. So if you're in someone's pub, right, and you say something that pisses the landlord or landlady off, they are completely within their rights to throw you out of their private property. When you're using Twitter, when we're using YouTube or Facebook or whatever, it's someone else's property, their private property, and they allow us to share in their wonders, if you want to put it that way. But at the end of the day, right, you don't have a right to write whatever the fuck you want. You just don't have it, or say whatever you want. So this week, I mean, there's been so much going on. It's day after day of absolute nonsense from this joke of a prime minister. So a week ago, we had the release of the update to the Sue Gray report. It wasn't the full report because it's been, most of the meat has been sucked out, or the marrow has been sucked out of the bones by none other than Cressida Dick. Cressida Dick is the commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, the London Police Force. And she is a dick. I mean, she's also corrupt. She's been found to be institutionally, not her personally, found institutionally corrupt. The Met under her has been found in the Daniel Morgan independent panel report to have been institutionally corrupt. Okay? And furthermore, Dick herself has actually had her name came up in the report saying that she personally had intervened to frustrate the panel's ability to gather evidence for this crime that was committed and the subsequent police cover-up in the 1980s. And Dick was complicit in covering that up. Dick was also responsible for not following up complaints of impropriety in the 2016 referendum, the EU vote, which was obviously the vote leave broke the law, be leave broke the law, leave.eu broke the fucking law. These companies, or well, you know, whatever they called themselves, they broke the law in lots of ways. And Russian interference in the referendum wasn't even investigated. This came up in the Russia report, which Boris Johnson tried to suppress. When it did come out, it said that no one had bothered looking into it, not least the Metropolitan Police, who really should have looked into it, but didn't, because Cressida Dick was put in their post in 2017 by Theresa May, I think, or I don't know how it works. I think it's Theresa May makes and the mayor gets a say, but they can't override who gets the job. Anyway, Cressida Dick, she was the woman who was in charge on the day that the Brazilian guy, whose name I've forgotten, that's very embarrassing, John Menezes, no, someone's going to tell me in the chat, the Brazilian guy who got killed by the police in 2005 on the London Underground, John Charles de Menezes, I think, that's his name, is it? Someone tell me in the chat. She was in charge on that day. I think she's the one who gave the kill order. And she got away with it. Not only did she get away with her incompetence, which led to the death of a man in a most brutal way. He was shot like 7 times by the police in the head, in front of all these terrified passengers on the bloody tube. And they put out these lies that he jumped over the barrier and stuff. So the same fucking stuff that Yorkshire Police did, South Yorkshire Police did in 1989 in the wake of the Hillsborough disaster. Exactly the same thing. Put the blame on the victim. Oh, it was the victims, they were all drunk. You know, after Hillsborough, right? After the disaster, they put all the bodies, all the 96 people who had died on the day, right? They put their bodies in a gym or something, or one of the places nearby, right? And they tested them all for alcohol. They tested every dead body for how much alcohol they had so they could pin it on their fans. One of the people there was a child, aged 11 years old, and they tested the dead body of an 11-year-old boy for alcohol. This is what we're dealing with, okay? So, people go, oh, you go a bit far, Graham. You go off on one. Yeah, I do. But there's so much injustice going on in this country right now, and the fuckers are getting away with it. So I don't give a flying fuck if you find my swearing a fucking offensive. I'm sorry, but this is language that one employs when one is absolutely fucked off with the status quo, with the way it is. And people go, oh, it's just the way it is, You can't do anything, you can't change anything, so why bother? Why bother? Because I couldn't fucking live with myself if I didn't at least try, okay? I might not be successful. I might be this perennial fucking Don Quixote tilting at windmills for the rest of my life. But at least on my deathbed, I can look back and go, well, at least I fucking tried. At least I did something rather than nothing. But that's what they want you to do. They want you to do nothing. They want you to just sit back and go, yeah, this is fine. Everything's fine. And it's not fine. So, last week, Sue Gray report came out, gutted by the Met Police, but Sue Gray said, look, this is not the full report. The full report's coming out later, which gives Boris Johnson a bit of breathing time. And so what did Boris Johnson do with this extra breathing time he's been given? Did he use it to, I don't know, build up some kind of apology for all these fucking parties that he was having? Well, we couldn't hold the hands of our dying relatives. He was having parties, lots of parties. And these Boris Johnson supporters go, but it was just cake. He was just having a bit of cake. What the fuck are they on? We weren't allowed to see our loved ones. We weren't allowed to bury our loved ones in the way that we would like to bury them. Meanwhile, he was having a fucking party with 100 people invited to the fucking party. Oh, didn't know it was a party. Didn't realise it was a party. Everyone had party hats on and party streamers, and they were blowing up party balloons. But not everyone had alcohol. But I find that normal. I get the idea that Boris Johnson just walks around in a drunken haze most of the time, like Nadine Dorries, who I'll come on to in a moment. So that was on Monday, right? On Wednesday, we had Prime Minister's questions. And Prime Minister's questions consisted of Boris Johnson lying about a crime going down 14% when it has actually gone up 14%. But he wasn't including fraud, which we don't regard as a crime. Yeah, damn right you don't regard it as a crime, you criminal bastards. Because fraud is the number one crime of the Tory party. It's actually their favourite crime. And then not only did he lie about having the best rollout of vaccines in Europe, again, which is a fucking lie. Other countries are doing better than we are. Not only that, he said out loud in the Commons that Keir Starmer was responsible for the failure to prosecute Britain's most notorious paedophile. Which wasn't true. Something that I've heard a lot in far right-wing Nazi nonsense on the internet. And also far left-wing Nazi nonsense on the internet. Because it's supposed to be a political spectrum, isn't it? But it's more of a horseshoe, or should we say a circle. Yeah, you go too far. You go too far one way, and yeah. Typified this week by the authorities in China changing the end of Fight Club so the capitalists win. Hang on, run this by me again. So the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, told a streaming service called Tencent that they had to change the end of a movie in which capitalism is basically destroyed. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Anyway, so I'm just going to say thank you to Charlie Nelson there for a £2 super chat. Really appreciate it, mate. £2 super chat as well for number 3. Thank you, Richard. Another £2. Revolution. We have to do something soon. I'm up for a revolution. Just give me a call. I don't know if we've got John Charles de Menendez is correct. Thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't. When someone's name just like you know it, but it's there at the edge of your brain, and you're like, what is it? Hope it doesn't come up in a quiz. But that was absolutely disgraceful. It wasn't just awful the fact that this poor bloke got murdered by the police for no reason whatsoever, and he didn't look anything like the people that they were supposed to be pursuing. It was the police cover-up. That just makes it even worse. And this is what Boris Johnson does. And this is what annoying children do, okay? Now, I may have spoken about this before, but when I was in school, I wasn't the brightest spark, and I was no means exceptional in any way. I like doing pranks, and I like doing naughty things and getting into trouble and running on the corridors and not wearing my uniform correctly and all that kind of stuff. I got a kick out of it. I thought it was fun. But if I got caught doing something, I learned very quickly that you just go, yeah, I did it. Because you get into less trouble that way. And now, as a step parent, I get it from the other side now. I understand the frustration of teachers who are confronted with a child who is there with, a bleeding corpse in front of them, and they're holding a bloody stick in their hand, and they're all covered in blood. And it's been captured on CCTV. There's bludgeoning this poor bastard to death. And they're like, it wasn't me. Yeah, we saw you do it. No, it wasn't me. He fell onto my he fell onto my cosh. He fell onto my baton. He was just I was just walking along, and then he just started knocking his head against my fist, and there was nothing I could do about it. I was like, no, we just saw you. And it's so frustrating when children do this. It's even more frustrating when the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland fucking does it. It wasn't me. It was someone else. It was the other people. It was bigger boys. Bigger boys came, and it was boys from other school. They came and they did all these naughty things. I didn't do it. And you're just watching this fucker get away with it. And his little lackeys like Nadine Dorries. I mean, this is classic. You know, he couldn't get anyone but Michael Fabricant and Nadine Dorries, who is like so fucking dense she swallows light. And she's on TV and she's asked a really simple question. Have you spoken to Boris Johnson in the last 24 hours? You know, valid question, since in the previous 24 hours, 4 of Boris Johnson's special advisors had quit. Not special advisors, but, you know, his people in number 10. So his director of comms quit. His what's it called? His principal private secretary had quit. Basically, 4 of the big people in number 10 who have been to all these fucking parties all just left en masse. Policy advisor Munira Misra is her name, I think. Who used to be one of the revolutionary communists in the 1980s, along with Claire Fox. And you know what? Those fuckers, when I was in university, the very, very hard left lunatics, they were just a cigarette paper away from the far-right lunatics. They were just as intolerant, just as unable to understand the fact that you need to be a broad church. You really do need to be a broad church. And we've got to look at the 2019 election. That was not won by Boris Johnson. In fact, Boris Johnson has been a tremendously unpopular leader of the country and the Conservative Party since the start. There were a lot of Conservative voters who wanted to stay in the EU. Quite a lot. Not as many as there are in Labour, but quite a lot. Johnson didn't win the 2019 election. Labour lost. That was it. It was an unpopularity contest. And unfortunately, the leader of the Labour Party was more unpopular than the Boris Johnson Party. The new blue kip. You know, taking all the worst bits of Nigel Farage's crazed psyche and foisting it on the nation like a pack of twats. But here's the thing. Boris Johnson has never been that popular. And he's still massively unpopular to this day. Going back to Richard's point, isn't it crazy that we have to wait for MPs to do the right thing over this guy who is being investigated by the Metropolitan Police for criminal wrongdoing, for breaking the fucking law? And his little lackeys, his little familiars, his little salacious crubs waiting on the fucking sidelines, you know, to back him up because they know they are so fucking incompetent. They will never get a job anywhere near the level of being a Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport. No fucking way. Not in the real fucking world. Their only hope of clinging onto their power is if Boris Johnson stays in power. And they're there nodding away. Yes, Boris. You're absolutely right, Boris. Everything you do is great. And Nadine Dorries, she's drunk half the time. She's just an embarrassment to the nation. She's just fucked off to Saudi Arabia, apparently. Jesus Christ. She's probably set back the cause of feminism in Saudi Arabia by another couple of fucking centuries. There'll be that. So, are going, are all women like this? I don't know. I'm not allowed to talk to most women. I only really talk to my wife and my mum. Oh, okay. We're just going to assume that all women are like this now. Well done, Nadine. Dickhead. Anyway, so she was asked, Nadine Dorries was asked, did you speak to Boris Johnson in the last 24 hours? And she reacted like she'd been caught having an affair. What do you mean? No. She checked my text messages. I was home the whole time. I didn't go out. I've not spoken to anyone. What? And it was just like, what the fuck, love? Literally, in the last 24 hours, 4 of his fucking key advisors have fucking left. Have you spoken to him about it? Because we'd like to speak to Boris Johnson, but obviously he's hiding in a fucking fridge, so you'll have to do, dickhead. My God. It's fucking painful. Anyway, would you like me to share something with you? Anyone who follows me on the Googles, not the Googles, the other things, what are those things called? The Twitters. The Twitters. Anyone who follows me on the Twitters will already, I think, will already have seen this. But for those of you who haven't, here's a bit of fun for you. Let me just set this up on my laptop while you're chatting away. Let's have a look, and we'll go for that one, and then we'll say, "Oh God, my screen's gone crazy! My screen's gone proper crazy. Oh God, my video card is not liking this. Oh shit! There you go. Okay, no, it's fine. So, by means of introduction, so the outgoing head of comms in Number 10, which is Alistair Campbell's old role, and basically what Malcolm Tucker's job was in the thick of it. He was head of comms for Number 10. For the last 2 years, it's been held by a chap called Jack Doyle. And not a lot of people know this, but I used to go to university with Jack. In fact, he was in my comedy club, because I ran a comedy society in university, because of course I did. And one of the sketches that we filmed was called Conservaholics Anonymous. At the time, Jack was a fully paid up member of the Labour Club, the Labour Society, and he was quite active in promoting Labour back in the late 90s, when Labour were cool. But since then, he seems to have, had a change of heart. Let's put it that way. Had a change of heart, and he's worked for the Daily Heil, and then he went into Number 10, and he's probably going to go to a job now working for the Sun or something. But here he is. I think this is the best apology you're going to get from anyone in the Tory party or involved with the Tories who was at these fucking parties. Okay, so I'm just going to share this with you. I hope the sound works, because we had some technical problems last night. But here you go. This is actually Jack Doyle. This is Jack Doyle, but it was 20 years ago. Apologising for being a Conservative. Enjoy.
I vote Conservative. I'm arrogant, rude, xenophobic.
No, would help if it just played. Play, you bastard, play.
I vote Conservative. I'm arrogant, rude, xenophobic, homophobic, sexist, racist. I'm really sorry.
And that's it. That's that's Jack apologising for being a Tory. Now, I couldn't hear the sound on that because I was pissing around with my sound settings last night when we were watching the movie. So let me know. Let me know if you saw that. If you didn't, I apologise profusely. Sorry, let me know if you heard it. I know you saw it. How the hell did Claire Fox get a peerage? Asked Patrick McCarthy and gives me £2. Thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Patrick, if anyone else wants to drop a super chat in, this is the only channel that you can drop super chats in at the moment. You can't drop super chats on Graham Hughes Travels or Graham Hughes Films because I don't have enough subscribers on those channels yet. So if you want to throw some money at me to, I don't know, dance or whatever you want me to do, please do it now, which would be great. So Patrick McCarthy is saying, how the hell did Claire Fox get a peerage? Well, Patrick, she supported Brexit, and there's only about a handful of people who supported Brexit, because most sensible people, knew it was fucking nuts, and so she got a peerage. John Bercow, meanwhile, the old speaker who would normally get a peerage, didn't get one. It's only super chats that give it out today, says Pineapple Boy. Well, sometimes it is, my friend. But I just read out your message. I missed that on Twitter. We saw and heard that. How do you get it to LBC? I don't know. Go back in time. Give me £30,000 a year, and I'll go to a private school, and then I can get on LBC, like the 12 of the 16 full-time presenters who all went to private school. Yeah, because that's how it works. Shit. Kirsty Allsop, a person in private school. One day we will go an entire day without the name of someone who you hate, who also went to private school, is not trending on Twitter. One day it'll happen. But I wouldn't hold your breath. Bring back Michael Foot. All is forgiven, says Sci-Fi Pulse with a £2 super chat. Thank you very much, Sci-Fi Pulse, for that. Yeah, Michael Foot, the author of the longest suicide note in the world. 1983, was it 1983? Election manifesto for Labour. Holy flap. Jeez. Yeah, painful stuff. But yeah, still, Michael Foot, still more popular than Jeremy Corbyn. Still did better in the 1983 election against Margaret Thatcher than Jeremy Corbyn did against Boris Johnson. Yeah, because Jeremy Corbyn was fucking shite. And the people who don't believe that he was shite are kind of scaring me now, because it's been 2 years and really they should have got the message by now. They should have got the memo, and yet they're there clutching at the pearls. Well, maybe not the pearls, maybe clutching at the chests, going, oh God, if only Jeremy had delivered us some evil. And it's like, well, you know, you could blame the people who didn't vote Conservative. Didn't vote Labour last time round, but that's millions of people. Millions of people. You have to blame them all, you see, because they're all responsible. Collective responsibility. Yeah, let's blame the people and not blame the one man whose arrogance and ego wouldn't allow him to step the fuck down when his approval rating dipped below -40. Just consider this for a moment. Boris Johnson's pretty fucking unpopular right now with vast swathes of the nation. He's still more popular than Jeremy Corbyn was on the eve of the 2019 fucking election that we didn't need to have. We should be having an election this year. This year, we should be having an election. We could have had a government of national unity with someone sensible in charge of it. We could have had that throughout the pandemic. It would have been a lot better than Boris Johnson and his bastard mates making loads of fucking money by getting the pub landlord and the mate down the street ringing up Matt Hancock's sister. Hey sis, hey, why didn't you buy some PPE off us? Yeah, get some PPE, yeah. £8 billion written off. £8 billion written off. Dodgy fucking PPE deals. PPE that doesn't work. Overvalued PPE. Because we didn't stockpile it after we were told in 2015, after we did a bit of wargaming on the whole, what if there's a pandemic question? We went, well, we've got no PPE. And obviously, if it's a global pandemic, everyone's going to want PPE. And you can store this stuff for fucking ages. So why don't we just have loads of stockpiles of it, just in case? When's the next protest, Graham? Says Reagan Elite. £2. I don't know. There was a protest this Saturday, and I was tempted to go, but it was about making votes matter, and I'm like, okay, yes, I want to support you, even though it's a very fucking long way down to London, and it would mean 2 overnight trips on a bus there and back, which I'm prepared to do. Which I am prepared to do for the cause, even in February, even when it's fucking cold. However, I want it to be a protest saying Johnson out. Johnson out. That's it. I want people outside Parliament chanting Johnson out. Like 24 hours a day. That's what I want. But I it's one of these things. I think to myself arrogantly, if I don't organise it, no fucker will. And then I think, God, that's very arrogant, Graham. Put your ego aside. Wind your neck in for a moment. Obviously, there's loads of other people who can organise stuff. And so I sit and wait for someone to, I don't know, email me and go, hey, Graham, we're having a protest on Saturday. Do you want to come and talk at it? Or just attend? I don't care. And I'll be like, great, yeah, I'll do that. Or they don't even have to fucking tell me. I'm not that proud. I could just read about it on Twitter. We're going to have a Johnson out. Johnson out. That sounds funny for our American viewers. We're going to have a Boris Johnson get out the fuck out of Parliament. Get the fuck out of number 10 party. Not party, celebration. No, work event. Outside number 10. Well, outside Downing Street. Next week. I'll be there. I'll use these super chats that you're giving me right now to pay for my fucking megabus ticket. It's not enough to pay for my train, because obviously the trains are insane. Anyway, when I was coming back last week or the week before now, with Kieran from Luxembourg, and I was getting the overnight megabus back to Durham, well, Newcastle actually, and then back to Durham. And I think someone got onto the messages while I was travelling with with Kieran to say that the train ticket, there was a £50 50 pence train ticket, which was a cheap one, and I had a look at it, and it was actually a rail replacement bus. I was like, ah! So I could either pay £10 for the bus that I was supposed to get anyway, or pay an extra £50 50 for a bus. Yay! Anyway, Pineapple Boy, thank you very much for the £4.49 and for the beer that you bought me, and I owe you a beer. Pineapple Boy met me for a beer on the way to the bus station, and I was kind of like, okay, I'll drink this, I'll get another one, and then one of my other friends turned up and said, do you want a beer? And I went, okay, then. And then by the time I finished that, I had to run. I literally had to run for the bus. I was the last one on the bus. I'm always the last one on the bus. It's good to be the last one on the bus. It's bad when you're a bit too late and you just watch the bus going off. But anyway, so thanks, Pineapple Boy, and thank you very much for the £4.49 super chat. What if, hear me out, you replace the general election with a system of by-elections, different one every week, still stable as you only risk one seat? Yeah, I mean, oof. That'd be complicated though, wouldn't it? And would you, because usually when you have a by-election, you have the leader of the party, if it's important, if they think that there's a chance they might win, or it's not a safe seat, you get the leader going down, and what you'd have then, I think, is just a perpetual state of parties in election mode, which is not good. It's not. It's exhausting. I hate it. I hate the run up to the presidential election in America. It just goes on and on and on. It's like, whoa, okay, they're having the primaries. That's great. When's the election? Oh, not for another 17 years. Oh, okay. But we can listen in the fucking hibernation span of a fucking cicada to the whole fucking 9 yards of election politics bullshit for the next 17 years until the actual election happens. Yay! Which is why, like, in the UK, the fact that the election period's quite short, it's only like a month or 6 weeks. It's good. Nice short election period. That's what we want. Bloody elections going on for months and months and months and months. Alexander Campbell. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for the £4.49 super chat. It seems quite fashionable tonight. Do we really believe... No. Boris? No. We'll get away with this. Yes. Elements of the press are now blaming his wife for his ills. As for Corbyn, he should have waited. Waited for what? He wasn't going to become popular again. It's like... Well, it's like anything really. If you are popular and your star starts to diminish, generally speaking, across the board, all political careers end in failure in that respect of you generally get to the point where you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain, which is what happens all the time in politics. Whereas Boris Johnson started off as the fucking villain and got even fucking worse. But his popularity rating was always negative, except for a little bump around the time that COVID started, because everyone felt sorry for the fucker after he got fucking pretended to have COVID, or he had COVID or whatever. He said, I was on death's door. 3 weeks later, he's having a fucking, knocking back the beers on his birthday party. Have a super chat, says Phil Spicer. Thank you very much, Phil. I will spend that on soup. Good evening, all, says Daily Blase. I see our Prime Minister's rhetoric and lies have embarrassed us all again. Disgraceful scenes tonight and very disturbing. Yeah. So, Daily Blase, if you're just joining us, I was getting around to this. I've been trying to sum up what's happened in the last week since Prime Minister's Questions, when Boris Johnson made that horrific slur against Keir Starmer. Essentially blaming him for the fact that Britain's most notorious paedophile was not brought to justice. And then making it even worse by his failure to apologise. And there must be some responsibility taken by Lindsay Hoyle, Speaker of the House, who didn't force Boris Johnson to retract what he said. And Boris Johnson has his little acolytes going on the TV saying he'd done nothing wrong, and therefore, backing him up, and also saying, well, actually, he was the head of the Crown Prosecution Service. And you're like, it didn't come across his desk, and he actually he put in the investigation, the inquiry into what went wrong in order for him to get, in order for Savile to get away with his fucking disgusting crimes. And it's a slur. I mean, it's something that you couldn't repeat outside Parliament, because he'll sue you. He'll sue you for defamation because it's not true. But Boris Johnson knows he can get away with it in Parliament. So the canny interviewers have said, would you be prepared to repeat what Boris Johnson said without the privilege of Parliament? And you notice his little salacious crubs. None of them will back him up. None of them, not one. It's funny that on that matter they won't say, "Oh yeah, this is what he said, and I'm standing by that." They can refer to it, but they won't actually say it because they know that it is actually slander. It is slander, unless you write it down, and then I guess it's libel. Lee Corn says they have 1 year in the US, then they start campaigning for the midterms, and then they start with the primaries. It's why they say they put too much pressure on getting things done in the first 100 days. Well, it feels like if you don't get it done in the first 100 days, you're not getting anything done in America. But then again, since Reagan's days, when he just basically gave way too much power to his cronies in the Senate, essentially no politics has got through. I mean, even the amount of obstructionism in American politics is quite depressing. Fancy a drink, says Reagan Elite. So does Graham. Buy one of him. Thank you very much, Reagan Elite. That's really nice of you to put that in. Tried to forgive Boris. He's permanently pissed. He's a party animal, indeed. Jimmy says vote Conservative in 2010. Well, yeah, the Conservative Party were propped up in part by Jimmy Savile, who always campaigned for them, was good mates with Margaret Thatcher, and was also mates with Boris Johnson. There's anyone to blame for the fact that this paedophile got away with it. But tonight we saw Keir Starmer being attacked by a gang of anti-mask, anti-vaxxer fucking lunatics. These people are unhinged. It's no good saying, they're just like that. They're just like that. They want to go back to this fucking world of the 1950s. All right, dickheads, let's go back to the world of the 1950s. You would be put in a lunatic asylum and electrocuted. That's what would fucking happen to you. If you did go back to the 1950s, this is what they want. They seemed a bit mixed up as well. They were calling Keir Starmer a traitor for not fighting against Boris Johnson more or something over COVID, which I'm sure they think is a big fucking conspiracy or something, or they don't think it's real, or I don't know what's going on in their fucking head. But the words were shouted, Jimmy Savile, and you protect paedophiles, stop protecting paedophiles. So the idea that seed of disinformation that Boris Johnson has planted in the heads of the absolute clanging dickheads of this country has really set and rooted. It's rooted in their fucking brains, in what passes for their brains, the mush in between their fucking ears that passes for fucking brains. And we saw the leader of the opposition today, and David Lammy, being attacked by a mob. If it wasn't for the police being there, they would have been physically assaulted by a mob. And this is where we go back to fucking Britain Trump. Britain Trump. That's what Donald Trump called Boris Johnson. Britain Trump. And you see the same playbook. And it is the playbook of a petulant, spoiled little twat of a child, a crotch nugget, a womb goblin. That's what this little fucker does. This little sex trophy. Oh, look, he's amazing. Look, I had sex. This is a child in the body of a man. And no one says no to him. No one says, fuck you, you fucking idiot. That MP who crossed over from from the Conservatives to Labour the other day, he was the one who went up to Owen Paterson, whose conversations with Matt Hancock were released by Byline Times on Friday. Really shocking stuff in there, like literally get Randox. I'm getting paid by Randox. And then the one that said, can you stop people saying there's a link between these PPE contracts and Randox, please? Can you just stop saying there's a link, please? Because I'm getting annoyed with people saying there's a link. How do we stop them saying that? So Owen Paterson knew exactly what he was fucking doing. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Boris Johnson, this petulant child, this little fucker that no one said no to, and everyone seems to be afraid of. Oh, don't say anything to Boris. He's lovely. He's a lovely man. Fuck off. He's a lovely man. If you honestly think that, I know no one watching this thinks that Boris Johnson's a lovely man, but the people who do, what the fuck? And this is the end of society. This is what happens when we all break off into our little cliques, into our little bubbles, And we don't go to the pub anymore. We don't go to the pub anymore. In the village in which I live, in Durham, there is no pub. I had to walk maybe a mile to the nearest pub, and it's not nice. It's not, and it's the next village. There's no pub in this village, which is ridiculous. I think it was probably because maybe it was set. This is an old mining village that I live in, and there used to be a pit over the road, and which is weirdly there's no sign of, which is weird. I go out for walks, going, there must be something left behind, like a little bit of machinery or something. It's all gone. I'm hoping I don't, fall into a shaft or anything. Yeah, there is a social club or working man's club in the village here, and it's a flat roof pub that was obviously put in there, in the 1970s or 80s by the council, who went, oh, they need a social space, and it's like, oh Jesus, that's not the way to do it. It's really not the way to do it. But yeah, we don't go to the pub anymore. Even in big cities, in Liverpool, for instance, dozens of pubs shut down. More out in the sticks, like in the suburbs, there used to be a pub nearby that you could go to, and one by one they've closed down and become Subways, Pizza Huts, KFCs, something else. Some of them got burnt down entirely, like the one at the end of the East Lancs Road. And so there was we've lost that important bit of a community, and this is the important bit, right? It's when you go into the pub and your mates are there, and you go, wibble wibble, I think they're just making this COVID thing up because reasons. And your mates say, what the fuck have you been sniffing, Derek? That's the most biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard in my fucking life. What is wrong with you? But you see, Derek's got a drink, you see, so he can't just go, oh, fuck off, I'm blocking you. He's got to finish his drink. So he has to stay and actually have a conversation about the situation, about what he thinks is going on. You have the other people, his mates in the pub, to say, dickhead, what do you want about? But now Derek doesn't go to the pub. Derek stays at home on the internet, and he finds some other dickhead on the other side of the fucking world who believes exactly the same bullshit that he does. And we saw it on Question Time. Question Time! Oh my God. That guy, this young fella on Question Time with this folder. I don't believe in COVID. It's all made up. And he's talking to a professor. He's talking to a guy who is an esteemed expert in the field. And Fiona Bruce says to this fucking lunatic, says, is there nothing this guy can say to you that would make you, believe what he's got to say? And he's like, well, I've got a degree in philosophy. Well done, mate. Well fucking done for you. So tell me more about epidemiology. Tell me more about the nervous system. Tell me more about bovine spongiform epididymis, or whatever the fuck it was called. Tell me more of your medical knowledge. And he goes, no, I'm going to listen to him because that's an appeal to authority. Oh, he's done philosophy. He knows about appeals to authority. He knows about logical fallacies. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, well done, knobhead. Okay, tell us more. He goes, well, there's a scientist, there's a doctor called Boris Micklewhite, and he says that it's all bullshit. Sorry, did you just complain about someone making an appeal to authority, which wasn't an appeal to authority? It was literally, the guy was there, and he was backed by science. Not just, on my word. On my word. Just believe me. I've got no proof. Just believe me. What's the motto of the Royal Society? In nullius verba. On no one's word. That's what it means. On the word of no one. Don't believe these fuckers. See some proof. Ask to see some proof. And if every fucking scientist worth their salt in the world says the world is getting fucking warmer because there's more CO2 in the atmosphere, it's too complicated. Can't get my head around that. Right, there's carbon under the ground. Put the carbon on the ground. Burn the fucking carbon. Where do you think the gas goes? Can you see the smoke? Can you see the smoke coming out? Right, so there's something coming out of that fucking thing you're burning, right? Where do you fucking think it goes? Oh, I just thought it kind of went back into the ground. What? Upwards! Get yourself a little weather balloon, right, with the little meter on it, so you can measure how much little Bluetooth thing, right? Oh, Bluetooth won't be long enough, but little radio transmitter, right? put it onto a balloon, send it up, and have a look how many parts per million are in the atmosphere. And then, if you're feeling industrious, get yourself over to the Arctic, take some ice core samples, and then measure how many little creatures are in the ice cores that have been preserved for thousands of years. And from their composition, you can work out how many parts per million of carbon dioxide was in the atmosphere 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 1,000,000 years ago. And compare the two. Do it yourself. Or just rely on all the fucking data that we've got. But that lad with his binder, I've been, yeah, stuff on the internet. He needs to go to the pub and for his mates to sit there, right? He comes in with his fucking binder, with his degree in fucking philosophy, and they can go, "Oi, dickheads, what the fuck are you on about?" But that doesn't happen on the internet. It's all like, "Hey, come join us in our mad little fucking crazy cult," and that's what it is. The internet is just a almost infinite array of mad cults. And the maddest cult at the moment is Boris Johnson, and he is in charge of this country. Oh, sorry, did I say cults? I meant cunts. Sounds like we need to go for a drink, mate, says regularly. Oh, to Lee Corn! I thought you were talking to me! Really want a drink as well. Better hurry up with those ice cores, though. They're about to melt off. They are indeed. I nearly missed it, says Kevin Haggerty. Well, Reagan Leach saying, don't miss Hughes of the World every Thursday, where Graham talks about new country and their history. Yes, the story of every country in the world in alphabetical order. And we're up to Colombia. I forgot to mention that last week. But yeah, we've done China, as Boris Johnson said. No, what's his name? Trump says. No, we're going back to South America for like what, the fourth time? Is it? Yeah, I think it is the fourth. We've done Argentina. We've done Bolivia, we've done Brazil, we've done Chile, and now we've done Colombia. Bloody a fifth time back to South. There's only 12 countries in South America. But yeah, can't get enough of the place. Anyway, so yeah, Colombia comes next. Colombia spelled C-O-L-O-M-B-I-A. Alexander Campbell, thank you very much for the super chat. Alexander Campbell, you rock. 449 super chat there. Thank you. Keep them coming. We've only got another 5 minutes. Oh, Pineapple Boy. Met you in the pub. Avoided topics we disagree on. We didn't have enough time, Pineapple Boy. What did they have? Like half an hour? I just walked over from London Bridge. I was like out of breath, and I was like, "Can we sit outside?" And like Pineapple Boy's like, "It's absolutely freezing, Graham. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I've just walked all the way and I'm really hot." So he sat outside. He was very gallant, allowing me to sit outside, so I wasn't sweating like a twat. Had me back on with all my clothes in and everything, and all my filming equipment from the trip to Luxembourg. But yes, thank you. Not so fun fact. Sorry, just to go back to Alexander Campbell. Pineapple Boy, thank you very much for the super chat. Alexander Campbell, not so fun fact. Guto Harry, who has been hired by Bojo as director of communications, his new comms director, is the same dude that was fired by GBBs for taking the knee. Yes. So he used to work for GBBs, and I think he's a Remainer as well. And he took the knee on camera, and oh god, the gammon exploded. The heads. It's like the end of fucking Kingsman. Just heads blowing up everywhere, all over the nation. What did he do? He took the knee. Oh my God. How could he? Sorry, what did he do? Did he devour your firstborn in front of you? No. What did he do? He knelt down. Oh my God. What a cunt. So... you're really, really upset about this? Yeah. Why? Oh, it's woke political correctness gone mad. There's a line. And everyone knows where the fucking line is. Don't tell me that there's a comedian out there who doesn't know where the line is. They fucking do. They absolutely 100% fucking know where the fucking line is. And it's simple. It's really simple. If you want to have a pop at someone or a group of people, make sure you're punching up, okay? So if you want to make fun of 55 Tufton Street, or you want to make fun of the Tory party, or you want to make fun of Boris Johnson, that's fucking fine. They are fair game because you are punching up. If you start making jokes about black people, about Jews, about transgender people, or even better, about gypsies, yeah, you're punching down. You're definitely 100% punching down at that point. And I do not believe for a moment that these comedians don't know that. And they go, oh, we're getting cancelled, Yeah, because you knew where the line was and you went over it because you think you can get away with anything and you can't. So I'd like a full-throated apology for that. You wanted ventriloquist dummy, that is Jimmy Carr. But that's not been forthcoming, unless he's done something while we've been talking today. Anyway, just the question I'd ask someone is if Jim Davidson made that same joke about the Holocaust and the gypsies killed in the Holocaust, what would the response have been? Seriously, what would the response have been? Especially from people who are kind of defending Jimmy Carr and going, no, but he's a funny guy. I like his jokes. I'm like, never really took to him. He's got a really annoying laugh. He's kind of funny sometimes, but not that funny. I'm not asked if he's never on television again. But the least he can do is apologise for what he said. Anyway, £5 super chat from Reagan Elite. Thank you very much, Reagan Elite. Just message me next time you're in London and I'll buy you a drink, mate. Yes! Okay, well, look, I'll try and get down to London at some point. I hope Catherine's not watching this because I get into trouble if she is. Sorry, Kat. I'm talking to God. But I will try and get down there this month, down to London if there's going to be a protest. Because we need to be protesting. We need to be outside Boris Johnson's house shouting at him that he's got to leave. That's what we've got to do. People go, he's got a baby, you can't make noise, he's got a baby. Oh, fuck off. Like, babies give a shit. Babies sleep when they want to sleep, and when they're awake, they just want to be awake. Doesn't matter if it's absolutely silent in the house. If the baby wants to be awake, it'll be awake, and it'll just scream its fucking head off. Little bastards. Anyway, moving on. Yovosh, thank you very much for €5. Super chat. Get one on me. Wow. Thank you very much. I will do. Thank you, sir. Number 3 is there saying, another £5 super chat. Thank you very much, Richard. You're very generous tonight. And in fact, you're very generous most of the time. All the time, actually. Thank you so much. For maximum impact, we should all protest on Policing Bill Day. Yes, that would be good. Let's have a chat about that. Send me a message on Twitter. I'm sorry I'm a bit crap at getting back messages at people. It's just sometimes messages come up when I'm in the middle of something. I'm like, okay, I want to give this some thought before I reply. So I'll put my phone in my pocket, and then a week later I'm like, oh shit, I still haven't written back. Very, very sorry. But I'm quite busy. I'm quite a busy person. Wayne says, I'll send you a super chat, but I'm skint, so have this. Fuck off on me. Oh, thanks, Wayne. Oh, so nice. I was going to visit Wayne, but he lives too far away. Stop living so far away, Wayne. He lives on the coast. He says he lives in Essex, but he lives on the coast. How does that work? Ernie Burns says, Witherspoon's pubs help destroy UK pub culture. It's been a long game rehabbing fascist ideology. Yeah. You're absolutely right, Ernie. Those Wetherspoon pubs are just soulless shite. They're so fucking awful. They're just the Bernie steakhouses of... just shite. Absolute shite. Oh, Scousers! It's a fair point. Charlie would never get on these days. What's sad for me is that Farage has 298 subscribers and Count Dankula has 898. I don't know who Count Dankula is, but yeah. I don't know who Count Dankula is, but that's not that many for Farage, considering he claims to be speaking for the nation, and he's only got shy of 300,000 people who subscribe to his fucking channel. Most of them will be American nutters, right wingers. If you're coming down to London, you are coming to Basildon. No, Basildon's miles away from London. It's like on the other side of the fucking country to London. I think it's quicker to get from Liverpool to London than it is to get from London to Basildon. Yeah. Baby shaming Scouser. You fucking stop crying, you little shit. Carter's joke did expose that travellers are still acceptable to hate, but he did not make that clear. I think Carter should apologise. Yeah. Yeah, that was his intention. He should have said it at the time. He should have admonished the audience. Said that. What the fuck are you doing laughing at that, you sick fuckers? Or something like that. Switched it around, but he didn't. He sort of said, I'm just drawing attention to the fact that gypsies died too. And do you know what? That's actually something that Nazis do. Seriously, I've had this conversation with people where they've gone, oh, it wasn't just Jews who were killed, trying to diminish the fact that Jews were killed. Not to give me information that left-wingers and, communists, gypsies, homosexuals were also killed along with the Jews. That's not the point they're trying to make. They're trying to go, oh, but it wasn't just the Jews. What about? And it's a bit like whataboutism, rather than saying, yeah, as well as we should be concerned about this. People do it about Stalin when people talk about Hitler and his crimes. They go, well, Stalin killed more people. Like, it's not a fucking competition, dickhead. And Stalin, as far as I'm aware, didn't try and wipe out an entire race of people like Hitler did. Jesus Christ. I follow YouTube vloggers with over 1 million subscribers. There's a market for that stuff, Graham. Yeah, I know. I just need to get better at it. Pineapple Boy. Do you like films or going to the cinema to see what's going on? Well, so does Graham. You can join him on his film channel every Sunday. I haven't decided. Thank you very much, Reagan. I haven't decided who to talk about on Sunday, so I'm still having to think about that. But I will find something. Tories rubbing their hands like we're talking about Jimmy Carr, just saying, yeah, well, also Tories saying what Jimmy Carr said was disgraceful, while also basically criminalising being a gypsy. That is what the new police bill was trying to do, to criminalise being a gypsy, to have that lifestyle. Could you believe that in your wildest dreams in the UK? Imagine if it was a law criminalising being Jewish, criminalising being Muslim, criminalising being Christian. Oh my God, there's something going down in Oklahoma. You might want to have a look at this. They're trying to make it so that if a teacher says something that's offensive to a Christian child, then that child's family can sue the teacher for $10,000. So no separation of church and state, I guess. And if there's any outside help in them paying this fine, which is about half their fucking wages for the year, they can be struck off from being able to teach for 5 years. Honestly, this is happening in America right now. I don't think Britain's that far behind. I really don't. Starship Troopers, indeed. I don't think I got away with the copyright on that one. It needs to be an older movie. Old movies. But yes, so I think it should be illegal to be a toffee, says Wayne. He's referring to Everton Football Club there. Wayne's a big West Ham supporter, so he gets upset about things. Right, I'm gonna fuck off now. But before I do, I'm going to share with you tomorrow's newspapers. If you will indulge me for one moment, or as the Spanish say, un momento, and I will make this big. Make it big, Graham. Make it big. Oh. Right, sorry. I've got a little thing, and it says screencast, and then in brackets it says try not to use. Hey, there we go. That's better. Yeah, it's much better. Okay, so I'm going to quickly run through tomorrow's papers, if you will indulge me for a moment. I'm just trying to line things up nicely, so you can read what it's saying. Right, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye. Bye. Okay, there's the Daily Express there. Boris, Rishi is loyal and we're united on problems. If you say so, dickhead. Kevin Hegarty, thank you very much for the €5 super chat. A $5 for the C-bomb earlier. Thank you. I should drop my C-bombs sparingly. They're worth a $5 each. A license to clean the web. At last, porn sites forced to block children by checking users' age. I don't know how they're going to get away with that, but good luck, because kids are quite clever at getting around these kind of things. Save our NHS, waiting shame, 6 million queue, but it'll get worse as Tories delay health recovery plan. Yes, because they're cunts. Britain will not flinch over Ukraine, says PM. Okay, whatever. I think they will if his mate Putin tells him to. Youngest GB star sourced into finals there. The teenager Kirsty Muir yesterday. She qualified for the big ski final in Winter Olympics in Beijing, and abusive protesters target Starmer with Savile slur. Oh, God, that's easy for you to say. That's in the Independent. Premier stars violent attack on cat is the Sun. That's what they're leading. You don't really get the Sun on this, the scum newspaper. That's why I like going to this site. It doesn't usually have the Sun on it, but it did then. That kind of annoyed me. North Sea oil fired up amid net zero row. That's from the Daily Telegraph. And angry PMs blame Johnson's poison after anti-vaxxers set upon Starmer there in The Guardian. And police rescue Starmer from mob as PM faces crunch 48 hours. Kia flees hate mob here. There's this picture of Kate Thingy, Princess Kate, on all of the newspapers. I don't know what she's doing. She's just sitting there. And then, the ECB rate expectations force up Greek and Italian borrowing costs. Don't you hate it when that happens? Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's it. That's your headlines for tomorrow. You don't need to buy in a paper now, which is good. Wayne says, Graham has a little thing. It doesn't work. I've got lots of little things that don't work. There you go. There's some. They were the old hinges on my laptop. And I had to dismantle my laptop and put new hinges in because these ones that come with your Dell are shite. So there you go. Little things don't work. Imagine Bojo had refrained from partying during lockdown and concentrated on just destroying his country. We'll be stuck with forever. Yeah, indeed. But there's lots of Tories that want to forgive him. We want to forgive him. Anyway, right. Should we head over to the Discord server, the new Discord server? So if you are a patron, check your messages in Patreon. There is an invite for you there for joining us all on the Discord server. So if you want to head over there in a moment, and I'll sign you up with all of your bells and whistles so you can watch videos and you can use videos and you can read people's messages and all that kind of thing. So if you have a look there, that would be great. If you are a YouTube member, I have sent a message out which I believe had the wrong fucking URL because God, I don't know. It's really complicated. I had to do two things, but basically, if you're a YouTube member and you go to your membership screen for this channel, there is a message there. It says perks, and underneath it'll say join us on the new server, and that link should work if the other one doesn't. If you join us on that server, I will put all your permissions on so you can talk to us and stuff. And we will meet on the after hours chat momentarily. So hopefully I will see you there. Patrick McCarthy, £5 super chat. Thank you so much. How about Sweet Smell of Success? Tony Curtis, Burt Lancaster, 1957. Ooh, interesting. I've not seen that one. So that could be good to watch. Patrick Baker, Graham, some homework for your film channel. Look up Tallulah Bankhead. Okay, will do. We could watch Louise Brooks, couldn't we? I could do something about Louise Brooks, who was in Pandora's Box, and also the subject of the OMD song of the same name. But yes, she was the original It Girl, I think. No, that was the woman who was in the movie It, which was a movie that came out in the 1920s. Nothing to do with demonic clowns with balloons. Doesn't work the link, says Chubai. Yeah, okay, hang on. Does 12 Angry Men, Doctor Strangelove, Goodfellas, Citizen Kane, and Apocalypse Now are my top 5. Yeah, pretty good movies. Pretty good. Right, let's have a look. Doesn't work the link. I'm thinking that means the link doesn't work. By the way, I called today's episode Bojo the Clown because Guido Harry said that he was not a complete clown. He is, you know. He is a complete clown. Right, and I am going to look for... Oh, bollocks. Why do they make it so complicated? Memberships. Okay, Reagan Elite is in the membership list. Okay, and Kim as well. Okay, right, I'll have to sort this out. Maybe I will send you. Can I send you individual messages? Can I do that? No, I don't think I can. Damn. Okay, right. You have to become a patron. Yes, you do, in order to join us on the new Discord server. and you had to be a patron or a YouTube member. Reagan saying, I'm still missing out. This is the recent comments by members. Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do now, I'll go over to Discord and I'll post a new link in the members only section on YouTube. Okay. And so if you are a member, you should get that. You should get that message coming up in the next few minutes. And everybody else who is already a patron or already attached to the new Discord server, I've already plugged into the Matrix. I'll see you there in a few minutes in the after hours chat. Listen, if you do want to join us on the Discord server, please become a patron or join the YouTube membership scheme. It's only it's from £3 a month, so it's the price of a cup of coffee. In fact, I don't think you'll get a cup of coffee for that in Costa. Jesus. But yes, maybe if you brought your own cup. But yeah, £3 a month, and if I get enough patrons, then I'll be able to do more stuff. Not just videos and things, but actually organising marches and rallies and revolutions. Because you can't do it with no money. That's what I've learned over the last couple of years. You do fuck all. If you've got no money, you can't exactly do this kind of stuff. And it's annoying that the people who do have the bloody money, they're never up for a revolution because it means they might lose their money. Someone made a really good point on the radio last week where they said if you have a Conservative voter and they fall on hard times, it's unlikely that they'll actually swap to becoming a Labour voter. But if you've got a Labour voter who wins the lottery, they become a Conservative voter overnight. Okay, so thank you very much to my patrons and also my YouTube members. I will add names to the list at the end here. It's on my to-do list. I'll try and do it tomorrow before I come back. I will return on Wednesday for Prime Minister's questions to scream obscenities at Boris Johnson. If you enjoy that kind of thing and you would rather hear my voice screaming obscenities at Boris Johnson over Boris Johnson's voice, please watch it with me because I feel like I'm venting for the nation in a way. Well, half the nation anyway. The sensible people. Adrian says, maybe introduce a midweek or Friday evening film club video to feel out ideas for the week's upcoming film. Yeah, Adrian, I mean, yeah, that's a really good idea. Okay, well, I want to start using the Discord server more. So I want to be doing more stuff on there that is just exclusive for people on Discord, which is going to be a perk of becoming a patron. Because at the moment, it's like, you become a patron for this, and you're like, what am I paying? What perks am I getting? This is rubbish. But I want to make it so you can, A, join the Discord server, and B, if, like Pineapple Boy, you want to meet me for a beer, you can meet me for a beer. You can buy one for me if you want. But I do. Don't interrupt Blackford. No, I won't. I'll try not to. I'll be screaming with you at PMQ, says Pete Connor. Fantastic. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you all over on some of you, over on the new Discord server on After Hours in a few moments' time. And until then, I'm going to say thanks for watching and hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.